Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Now walking out here to the back shed. Got the 185, 175 sitting here. Gonna head over and start mowing and tending our first cutting of hay. So I'm gonna head on over at the mower, and here in a little while Dad will come over and he'll start tedding. So I'll get the tractor here fired up and we'll head on over. All right, just pulled in over here. I'll get the mower unfolded. There we go. Okay, Dad's going ahead of me with the four-wheeler, especially around the outside edge. This is only 7 acres, but he's going ahead of me with the four-wheeler looking for hemlock. In fact, I'm curious. Well, I'll see if I can find one here right quick. He just dug one out. Okay, here's the hemlock. They call it poison hemlock. I'm curious. We sell this hay to a neighbor lady that has horses. So let me know in the comments, is that hemlock bad for horses and cattle and that kind of stuff? I don't know. And I think my dad has actually asked the neighbor, and she's not real sure either. But if you know, like I say, drop it in the comments. I'd be curious to find out. But it's very aggressive, and we got it everywhere. And nothing can really compete against it, because it's my understanding that it like leaches like an acid out of the plant into the ground and basically kills anything around it. So it just keeps spreading out, killing back whatever is around it. And so it's kind of a pain. So okay, well, I'm going to take off here. That puts 4 stripes on each end. That way it's big enough to turn on. 4 stripes around the outside of the field all taken care of. And as you can see, that gives me 4 stripes on each end. This is the east end, back down that way is the west end, and that gives us room to turn. And so now I can just every time I get to the end, I can just pick the mowing machine up and then just straddle a windrow, drive across and set back down. So Dad's going to be heading over here in just a little bit with the 175 and the tedder, and so I'll be trying to get video of that as well. well, that's got it. Dad's got a couple more rounds to make with the tedder. So hope y'all enjoyed the drone footage. I will say it's kind of tricky trying to hold that drone controller without dropping it off the tractor. But I carried me a 5-gallon bucket, that way I got my camera tripod. I can set my drone controller down inside that bucket, that way it can't jiggle and bounce off. Okay, Dad just got back up here to the east end, so he'll finish up on the tedding, and that'll have the first cutting of hay for this year done. Okay guys, well that's got everything all wrapped up, so I'm going to call this in the video. So take care, thanks a lot for watching, we'll see you next time.